All right, cool. Now I'm ready. Welcome again to people that hear. Welcome to what I call the Ringing Stone Network. I kind of been subtly making a shift from Blog Talk Radio, where I was extremely busy with it, to trying to just commit to giving information when the Spirit puts something on my heart that there's a need. And so what's been on my heart now was after seeing the shootings that's been taking place, not only in Chicago, but in Florida and Texas. It seems like things are getting out of hand. So I was like, well, what do we do that we can do to change the energy of it? You know what I mean? Because even with the show we did with Nikki, the brothers that was there aren't doing the shooting. You know what I mean? So it was a great show, but did we come out of it doing something that we could touch our community to deal with the people that may be shooting or shooting our bystander? You know what I mean? And everything on this planet is an energy. So it ain't like we can't affect it. It's just that how we sum it up and how we go about sending that type of energy out and consistently sending it out, like that. And I'm not saying that because I'm not into excusism. I'm just saying that I believe that we have the power in single thought with a single subject. If we consistently do it, then it's going to change things for our community. You know what I mean? Like that. So what I want to do is I want to start with my national anthem. And I know we're going to try to burn by 9:45, so I'm going to be trying to squeeze things in. And I had a couple of the speakers that canceled, but we have some people that's making up for it. So we're going to have a good time anyway. So this is an old piece, but I love it. It says, "The freak shall inherit the earth." Decades ago, many sensitive people began feeling the shift. We could see into life's patterns and know, at least vaguely, what was coming. Remember when we were the freaks? When society stared at us like crazy people who had lost their minds in the streets? Have you realized yet? We're becoming the new status quo, caring about the earth and all her creatures, pursuing spiritual awakening, connecting with the powers of magic and manifestation, working with energy and subtle forces, healing through the heart. Remember, you are not alone anymore. Someone told me there's only one shaman per village. We are spread out to saturate the earth with this new consciousness. It is vitally important to connect with other modern shamans, to ground yourself in this new reality, to be reminded that you are not crazy. Together, we are lighting up a pathway to a beautiful future of peace, prosperity, and joy. A world where the heart and souls are the beacons we are guided by. So to this, sister sensations, and this is taken from the We Moon, so it's more effeminate. You know what I mean, like that. It's a We Moon book that I buy because it has a great calendar. Don't ever doubt your years and your values to the world. I am grateful that you personally have survived the challenges that hold you up and your light up for the world. Bless your sisters. Thankful for sharing your light, your day of dawning at last. And that's taken from the We Moon. I think it was like the 2014, where they have a calendar. And in that calendar book, they give you all the moon aspects. I'm coming, y'all, like that. And they give you all the lunar aspects. So I just like to buy it every year. They have a lot of women's poetry in it, blah, blah, blah. But you can open it every day and see every aspect that's happening without having to go look in 1,000 different books to find out that happening. So today, I want to read about intentions. And intentions in Black's law, they do intentions. I'll be brief. Intentions is determined to set a certain way or to do a certain thing, meaning, will, purpose, design. Intentions, when used with reference to the construction of wills and other documents, intentions means the sense and the meaning of it as gathering from the words therein. So what they say in Black's law is like, if you have an intention and you write it, legally, it starts to manifest itself. And so what we're trying to do is look at this moon, which is a 270 degree, as setting our intentions before we go to 0 degrees, which is the new moon. And so tonight I think we have Sister SHABAZZ. She's going to come on and give us some information about numbers, numerology. Hopefully Eddie's going to still show up. I couldn't get in touch with Mel Friel, so I don't know if he's going to have it. And also we have ANNFIERA McPherson, and she's going to tell us about how to set this particular ritual up, you know, like that. So let me open up Miss SHABAZZ right here, if I can. Sister Shonda, are you there?
Yes, I am. And that's Shonda, SHONDA.
I apologize. I'm looking how I spelled and still said it wrong.
No problem. It's okay.
This is the
Yes.
first time, so welcome to the Ringstone Network. I appreciate
Thank
you
you
coming.
so kindly. Thank you for asking me to come. I appreciate it for the invite.
And let's look at numbers. You know, the waning moon is on 270 degrees, right? Like that. And so when you look at the 270 degrees, what does that mean? You know, and then when you add it up, it adds up to 9.
Right. Yeah, see, well, this is a whole nother area that I have put time and energy into many years ago in my life. And here it is today. When you called me, I was like, oh my goodness, here I am being pulled back into the numbers. So I'm a little bit, you know, I'm not up to all complete speed, but of course, you know, just some of the basic fundamentals of numbers. I really kind of got into numbers basically through names. One of the things that I used to do was name etymology, where, you know, I just shared with people how to take their name and break it down through numbers. But in this case, we're not talking about that. We're talking about the universe, the moon, and how we can react in it, with it, and be in alignment with it. And that's the thing that I think that is so, so powerful about the waning moon of 270 degrees, is because it is a 9. And that 9 is such a powerful number within itself, meaning that, you know, it's a number that once multiplied is always going to come back to a 9, to give you just some of the intricate details about the power of this number. You know, you reach a number 9, you are in a complete status of understanding, and that you have a calmness about you. You have a spiritual wisdom. So when this time frame comes around, it is a time to just be still and pay attention and have great discernment for oneself. In this time frame is the time frame to look at the tides of time that one experienced in the past, that past of the time frame of the moons, and where you want to expand your wings to go forward as this time is upon us. And excuse me. And so it's very critical that you not be in a rush. Being in a rush is unnecessary at this time. When this time comes around, and I'm using that word time because to me, there's always cycles and times and tides that come in that you have to be aware of. And just to give a real quick brief example is, for example, you know, if you're on the ocean, you want to know when the tide is coming in, because it could be a matter of life or death. And so this too is the same thing, to take time so critical, because it's the one thing that we cannot get back, no matter what. You know, time is critical. So being on the 9, and 9 is my birth number, gives a person an opportunity to pull from the source of the power of the 9, that spiritual wisdom that you can reach up into the universe and call upon the elementals to be your guide, to be there to help you with the forces that you need to move forward, or the forces that you need to remove things out of your life, and the breakthroughs that you might need to discover oneself to a greater degree, if you understand what I'm saying, brother. So I see you're entrenched in whatever you're in right now.
No, go ahead. I'm here. I just want, like you the same, there was a time when, I was doing the astrology thing real hard, right? And so, yeah, and I was just looking at the 270 in terms of the aspect of it. You see what I mean? Like
Yes.
And
Yeah,
so,
and it's even if you when you just look at the 2 and the 7, I mean, you look at them by themselves. It to me that the 270 is a number that lets you know you should not be in operation by yourself. Like the 1 and the 2 is a pair of numbers that where there's 2 beings, but yet each can be complete in its own mission. And then looking at the royalness of the 7 and how you could pull the force of the 7 to be with you. I always like to use that old saying, like lucky number 7, so you can become fortunate in oneself. And for me, I think that the clear path of this time frame is to show you that you have to be tuned in to yourself. You need to pay more attention to your well-being. You need to be aware of your necessary needs, not the desires, but the necessary needs, and grow the necessary needs for the times when the tides change, because you already know that they will change if you're around long enough. So just a little bit on that number.
I appreciate that. That's cool. See, like I'm looking like they put 270 with 90. So they say a square. So out of that aspect, that's the aspect where they say it's favorable. Out of most all the aspects, they say when you're on the square, you see what I mean? That's 90, right? And so like tonight, we on 90 on the square, and then we're moving into a conjunct. So because the new moon is 0, so that's a conjunct. So like I do agree with you about settling in, but what if, is that a good time to use your witch magic? And I mean in terms of witch magic, in terms of the purpose of it is, let's build what we are, but do we look at, is this the time that we use our witch magic to sweep this planet? You know what I mean? And should we do it on the square? Like if we're setting some intentions tonight, should we also set some intentions to be subtle, to open us up or give us the power that we can move some of those entities that make even our children hate ourselves. Like today, I'm in this little town called Spartanburg, right? And that's why I do this show, is because of that concern that I like barbecue, and it's getting to the point that I can't go to a backyard barbecue. So today, they said the brothers walking down the street and saw 2 white men in a hole. And he was like, well, why are you in the hole in my neighborhood? And they was like, we work for the water company. So he shot him. Like that. And then he went and captured the woman, and did the old stakeout thing. They still might be going on. And so it becomes a point that even though a lot of the people on this line is successful, that negative energy going to affect us somewhere, somehow. You know what I mean? So at what point do we be like, dig in and say, well, I don't need to get shot, but can I, with my powers, can I expand them out where we can try to like put a dome over our community? Go ahead.
Yeah, well, I think that still for me, it still keep coming back to the self. You can't set any intentions unless you're crystal clear. And if you are, because you have to be clear, you have to be really crystal clear. Anytime in my mind is a good time for magic. But it depends on what kind of magic you are trying to bring forward. But if we're going to say not just me, but we, because that's what we're coming together for, then but the me has to be crystal clear about what we are trying to do. And a lot of different circles that I have had some experiences in is that the crystal clearness in the we has been the problem. So I would say that, as you said, state the intent. The intent should be stated, and the intent can be laid down, but the intent has to be carried out over a period of time, not one time, but over a period of time. So all the cycles will be beneficial, but the building up of the cycle is where we need to be in our crystal clearness of our true intentions.
But are you saying we should do nothing until we're clear?
No, not at all. I'm saying that we have to be clear. We're doing something now. For every action that we're taking is doing something because we're talking about it. But that's the clearness is where the power is going to be come in. I mean, because it's like being a good shot. You know, you have to have a good aim. We need a real crystal clear aim here. We don't need to be bullshitting around. Excuse me, I mean playing around.
Well, I mean, but that's the point. I mean, the point is, you know, that, you know, the way I see it, that's part of the point, is to make sure that we're starting to do something to, you know, not only manifest ourselves, but we were even looking at what I found from sharing with this sister when I bring her on lastly, was that she showed me a technique under this moon phase where some of the things that she wanted to manifested. And so I decided, you know, let's do that. You know what I mean? Let's see if some of the things we want to write for self, you know what I mean? And self, you know, I'll be with you. Self can mean community, you know what I mean? Like that. And we, you know what I'm saying? We, you know, because we can sweep our own house, you know what I'm saying? Like that. And so part of that is, you know, can we, you know.
Well, see, the reason that I keep saying there's two things that I'm really want to put emphasis on is that self and clarity, because what you're talking about is we need to be in it for the long haul, not just, you know, just once. But if the clear intentions has to be held for every day, almost next to the breath, you know, in order for it to be hold, in order for it to, you know, be reinforced. It's like this government, everything is symbol and signs with them. It's totally reinforced. All of their magic is reinforced. It's done on a certain time. It's done on a certain cycle. They use certain symbols. They use certain signs. They do certain rituals. So we too have to do the same thing. We have to do that because that is just how it works. It's a ball of energy. And so the intent is the energy that you're talking about, is the intent of here and the heart, and to be crystal clear about it, what you're trying to accomplish. That's all. For me, I'm just saying that it's simple, but it needs to be for the long haul.
This is true. I agree. Well, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna skip ahead. I want to bring in Sister Anthea. Let her get off into that particular ritual, and then if we have time before we do the burn at 9:45, that way, as she talking, then if you have your red pen and your brown piece of paper, you can write your intentions. And then after we burn, if we want to stay and discuss, you know, even the crystal clear thing, let's do that. You know what I mean? Like that. I wanted to start burn at 9:45 because that would start us on 9 and 9, which is 18, and we'll be back on the 9. So we'll actually be on the square, and we would be in alignment with the universe. Because you see what I mean? And like you just said, I don't even believe in the 3 days before the full moon energy. I'm a person that believes, you know, you got to do it on 180 degrees, right? Like that. And then when you look at the aspects, they have the aspects, but that's another thing. Sister Anthea, are you here?
Yes, I am.
Greetings, welcome to the Ring of Stone Network. I'm so glad
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Greetings.
I hope I don't talk too much, you know.
So Brother Yusiku asked me to come on and speak a little bit about burning my candles, and kind of expressing my intentions, taking it from thought realm and bringing it into the physical realm. This is something that I've done for some time now, for a few years actually. When I first started, I didn't know what I was doing, but I started researching and gaining more knowledge, speaking to elders and getting an understanding of how to properly manifest my intentions. So one of the first things that I do, well, it's cleansing. So if you have an altar or if you have a space in your home that it's not an area that will be disturbed, that would be the perfect place to burn your intentions. The first thing I do is clean out. So I'm talking about my altar. I would clean out my altar, wipe everything down, declutter the space around the altar, and cleanse my crystals. On my altar, I have a lot of crystals. Over the years, I've just been acquiring more and more crystals. The second thing that I do is I get a piece of parchment paper and I use either Dove ink or Dragon ink. Now, if you don't have those, you can use a red pen. And so you can get those from the spiritual shops. Throughout New York, there are a bunch of stores that sell them. I'm not sure if they have them online, but for me, that seems to work best. And then you will write your intentions down on your parchment paper. Now, in doing that, you have to be very clear and precise as to what it is you want. So for example, a lot of times we may write an intention down, but we're not specific. And so it's kind of difficult for it to manifest. So for example, you say, I want money, okay? But you're not specific as to how much you want or when you want it, you know? And then you walk out on the street and there's a penny on the ground and you pass it by, but a penny is money. So it's very important that you're very clear as to what your intentions are, be as precise as possible. The next thing I do is you start to, while I'm going through the whole process of writing my intentions down, I start to visualize this intention manifesting, visualizing it, feeling like I have it, you know, acting, almost putting myself in a space of this thing manifesting. And that tends to work great for me. I started to be very specific as to when I want it. So if I want something to manifest within a week or within 2 weeks or within 6 months, you know, and so on and so forth. One thing I would say is that when it comes to manifestation, a lot of times we get caught up with the process. For me, that has not been good. It didn't work out that great, because a lot of times when you think of the process, some of it may tend to be a little impossible. And so you start to doubt yourself or thinking, that would never happen. Focus on only what you want and the end results, period. So you're not focusing on anything else but what it is you want to manifest. For me, that works. I mean, other people may do it differently, but you know, that for me works great. So then I move on to the altar. The parchment paper, I will fold it, put it on my altar, and then I will get a bowl of water. On my altar, I'm sure to represent earth, fire, wind, and water. Okay, the elements. And spirit, of course, is always there. For earth, it can be something like dirt, it could be a crystal. For water, obviously water. Fire, it will be the candle that I'm about to light, I will be lighting. And for air, I tend to use sage. So I will use my sage to sage out my altar area, and I will leave it burning in maybe a copper bowl. And so the fumes from the sage represents air to me. There are other things that can represent air. It's totally up to the individual and how they want to express that. So once the bowl is set on top of my parchment paper and I have cleansed the area with my sage, I select the candle that I want to burn. Depending on what I want to manifest, it will determine the color of my candle. So for example, if you want to manifest love into your reality, you will light a pink candle. If you want to manifest, say, confidence, more confidence, I would say a yellow candle. If you want to manifest money, prosperity, success, a green candle. you can do some research on candle magic, sorry, and you can, it will explain to you the different color candles and what they represent. Okay. One other thing that I add to my altar is a glass of water, in addition to the water that the candle is in, and a glass of white rum. And that is my offering to my ancestors. You don't have to do that. You can provide another offering, but for me, you know, that's what I've always been doing for years. So the next step would be to clean your candle, cleanse your candle. While your candle is in the store, is being touched by many different individuals. Individuals carry various energies. So you want to definitely cleanse your candle before you burn your candle. And so I will wash my candle and I will cut a little piece of the wick, the top part of the wick, and place the candle into the bowl of water. And while you're lighting the candle, it's very important that you focus on your intentions, whatever it is that you want to manifest. Okay. What I have been doing lately is I've been adding fresh flowers to my altar. And I've noticed that my candle burns very clear. It's like a positive burn, versus there are times that I've lit candles and the top part of the candle is black with black smudge. That means that whatever my intentions was, there was some hindrance. It did not manifest properly. Okay. What I've noticed now, that when I add fresh candles, not fresh candles, but fresh flowers to my altar, my candle burns very clear. There's no rims, there's no circles, there's no hindrance. It's a smooth burn. And so I know that whatever I intended, it's actually manifesting. And once you do that, you let it be, you release it, you let it be, and you sit back and you wait with open arms so the universe can send you and provide you with whatever you intended. So that's pretty much it. I kind of like summed it up a little bit because I know we're pressed for time. Yusiko, are you there? Yusiko?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm sorry.
Yes.
I'm trying to get from being killed. I'm sorry, y'all, but I forgot to invite somebody. So
Okay.
Very bad. Sister Charlotte gonna be like, you didn't invite me. You know, it's like, oh man. And I don't see the other sister that was supposed to tell her. And so I'm like, oh man, Charlotte don't know. So I apologize for, I was listening to you. So, you know, we got a little time. We got about 10 minutes, family. If somebody wants to offer something else, you know, just raise your hand or whatever. Or I think you can unmute yourself and please offer it. In the meantime, we're going to start the burn at 9:45. So if you want to take the time to write down your intentions, please write them down at the same time that we're talking. And then after we finish thereafter, if we want to, or maybe I'll put somebody on the spot to see if they want to give something, you know, like that too. Because there's
you.
Yes, peace.
This is Brother Dan on the phone.
Welcome to the Wetmark.
Thank you, brother. Peace and greetings to the sisters. Oh, correction, wholeness and greetings to the sisters and the queens. If I may, I know much of what our sister just shared with us is traditional. There is also some new, well, it's not new, but it's been used, another type of magic that is also quite powerful and quite effective. I'd like to just share a little of the knowledge that I'm familiar with in reference to it. And it's one of the things that you and I had an intent for us to sit and discuss, but to go beyond the discussion of it, to try it in a bit of a lab setting to ensure its functionality and how it works for us. There is a science, spiritual, I've discovered in my life that there is a close knit now on the plane between science and spirituality. And there is a new form or more modern form of magic that is extremely effective and it's called radionics. In 2015, I attended the annual radionics convention, and I discovered many devices presently being used to hold an individual's intent to ensure manifestation. If you go online, if you go on YouTube, or if you go on Google and you just Google radionics, there is much information available, and anyone can do the research and discover many things in reference to radionics. And that's my input. I just wanted to suggest or include radionics as one of the devices that I believe could be applied in reference to manifestation.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much. You know what I mean?
You're welcome.
I definitely appreciate it, because I'm not trying to deal with it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm be cool with the conspiracy thing. I just want to, let's look at like how, we come together to flow to deal with our community. Like, since I've been in my spirituality, right? The ancestors used to call me to go out in the fields, and they would be out in the fields with me. I'd be out in the woods and talking to the ancestors, blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? But one day it blew my mind, because they said that our salvation was inside our heart. And that's what they told me. And it blew me, like, with all the suffering we see, we could almost lay down and change the whole damn thing. That's what's deep. You see what I'm saying? Like, just enough of us just laying down and saying, we don't want this, like what Ann say, a precipitate thing to be in our community, right? And it will have a tendency to go away. And so when I give you an example, when you look at this one race of people that's being decimated by this other race of people, where they turn around and they warn these people, you got 30 minutes to get out of the building, then they level this damn building. But them people never look at spirituality. They always looking at a gun. You know what I'm saying? And so when I was telling a friend of mine, I don't even own a gun, and they was like, you don't own a gun? I'm like, no, because not that I'm crazy about spirituality, but they showed me that spirituality could be a gun within itself. You see what I mean? Plus the fact that in pure spirituality, there's no such thing as time. So those ancestors can give you things that protect you ahead of what's going to happen. You see what I'm saying? Like that. And so that's why I said we got to look, I'm not saying we got to, I'm doing this so we can collectively set our intentions. And maybe today it might be a P, but maybe next year we can come back and be like, you know what? You've been trying to commit to having this monthly meeting, right? And our energy has literally changed something. I have not had to go out of country. I have not had to go to a sacred land. All I had to do is decide that I am the sacred individual. You understand what I'm saying? Like that. And that's not attack on nobody, but we are the sacred individual. And I won't get off into the feminine women thing, like that, because like the feminine energy is very, very powerful, because it brings forth life. You know what I'm saying? Like that. And like with my mom, we got like 5 minutes, y'all. Are y'all writing y'all intentions? Please write y'all intentions.
Greetings.
Peace.
Greetings, family. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can I be
Eddie
heard?
here, family brother Eddie here. Go ahead.
Greetings and much love and better love to the family. I'm just coming on. I missed I caught the last end of the sister and the brother just got finished talking. But yeah, if you wanted me to go ahead and throw in some of those nines that you just talked about by word, because again, when we don't see the number behind the word, sometimes we get it twisted. And my part is just to get us untwisted by seeing exactly what we're saying by number that leads us to our square, to stay on our lane, to stay basically in our own reality. And guess what? Square is 9, lane is 9, and reality is 9. And there's no coincidence that you just spoke on spirituality, which is 9, my brother. So yes, we speak words and don't know the number that connects us to the 9, and 9 is no more than the life. Life is 9. It's all of our life. We all have a particular role or part that we play. that we understand our life, our square, our reality, our lane, our mission. So yes, that 9 is very relevant because, again, it gives us the source that we are supposed to go to. And by the way, source is 27, which is also 9. Because we're in the age of Aquarius, and Aquarius is the revealing of all the nonsense that we are regurgitating. Revealing is 9. And all we are doing is revealing information, pertinent and useful information. Information is 9. That's no more than the light, the source that comes from the light of the sun, family. This is what they got us off of. Because 8 hours of the day, the majority of the day, most jobs are from 9 to 5. Ain't that something? In that time that we're inside working in those factories, those offices, or wherever you're working, and even in school, from 9 to 3, you're not in the light outside in nature, in that sunlight, getting the information of the source of the real energy that we're missing, because we're being programmed in a box by something that they have dubbed called education. Ain't that something? And we never think about it because they call it time, which is an illusion because time is 9. Your time and space is 9. Time and space is 9. That's your life, baby. And they controlling it with what they call time management. They're managing the time that we're inside. And they did that last year extremely by shelter in place, stay at home. The coronavirus, ain't that a, whoo, I ain't gonna use that word B. But again, 9 is the key because that's why we're born in 9 months. The 4, they call it 40 weeks. 4, the square. Back to the square. Stand on your square, and again, square is 9. That's your reality.
All right, Brother Eddie. If you want to stay on the other side, you got 4 minutes. I know you're hosting another show. I appreciate you coming.
Yeah,
we're getting ready to light our fire in about 30 minutes, like that, family. So y'all got y'all matches together, y'all paper, and we're going to burn whatever. And I appreciate you coming. If you can stay on the other side, please stay, Brother Eddie, and burn yourself, family.
All right, then.
Yeah.
I'm going to mute myself, and I'll be on the other side and when you come back.
Okay, cool. And I guess we got like about 30 seconds, family. You know, we're going to get these intentions off. We're going to change our planet. You know what I mean? It's about saving our planet too. You know, it's about no more innocent children should have to die for foolishness on the street. You know, that's something we can change and stay and get up in the morning in our bed and change it from what I understand. You don't even need 9:45, family, on the 9. I got a book to burn. Does anyone want to share how they felt that participated? Do they want to share how they felt?
Hey, family. I felt very empowered. It was like I could see the manifestation in the parchment paper that I used and the way that the burning, I lit on all four corners and it came together like a clover. And the vibration in the fire. After the fire was gone, it was still sizzling. It was phenomenal.
Thank you. I want to be a blabbermouth, but I'm not going to be a blabbermouth. Anybody else? And, you know, Sister Anthea, I got to work on being specific too, because, you know, I picked that up from what you're saying. And sometimes I think I'm too general. That's a good point about you ask for money, you find a penny. That's very powerful, you know, so I got to work on
A penny, yeah, a penny is money. One of the most important things that I forgot to add at the end is once my candle has burned out, the parchment paper, I do burn it.
Okay.
And I release the words into the universe so that it can manifest.
See, I got you. I still feel, I got to work on that, you know. See, I still feel the pull. My ears start ringing. So, and then I still feel a pull from that. Yeah, very heavy. But me, when I do my brown paper, then I circle my intention. And so I'll write, sometimes I'll write 3 times, the same intention 3 times, and then I circle them. And then I'll burn them, or sometimes I'll just put them in a bottle of water and put them in water and let them float in moving stream. It has to be a moving stream. Sometimes I do that. You know what I mean? That's more of a defensive technique, but you know, like that. But yeah, very powerful. I feel enriched today, yeah, because my ears are ringing. So I know, even with the people that didn't burn, that just shared. See, and that's the power of being able to control our community, or you know, the ability of one centralized thought, you know, that. Well, can I bring Brother Eddie back on before he leave? Because I know he's doing another show. He was gracious enough to come over. I think he's here. Brother Eddie, you still there? You wanna? He's muted, and he's doing it's a program called Dry Bones, you know, like that, and they're like a tight family. So I feel blessed that he left. Brother Kwame over there, and some of y'all know Brother Kwame, you know, that came over last week with Nikki, but they definitely get together at least twice a week on Dry Bones. You know, like that's good. Anybody else want to share? If not, I'm gonna put somebody on the spot because I'm salivating here. I haven't.
It's Brother Dan again.
Go ahead, Brother Dan.
I actually feel connected to everyone presently. I feel the force of unity, knowing that unity is strength. When I set flames to my intentions, I also inhale some of the fumes, so that, to me, that fumes united with everyone else's, and I feel within me the collective intention is united, and unity is strength. I feel stronger, and I feel united. I feel connected to everyone present now. That's how I feel. In a more tangible way.
Yeah, very powerful. Yeah. You can kind of just close your eyes and you can feel the coolness on your shoulders. See, I can feel the coolness on my shoulders and stuff. And I also want to thank Sister Destiny for coming. You know, I'm glad to see your number. I appreciate you coming. I'm not gonna put you on the spot, but somebody I'm gonna put on the spot. Sister One, can we hear your voice? And maybe she on her iPhone. Let me see if I can get her. You know, that's a dark side energy in me, you know. Are you there, Sister Wanda? Maybe I can't unmute her. I'm sorry, I can't unmute her. Where's my other special guest? Oh, special guest, because I think Eddie may come back. Miss Patricia Brown, are you there? Would you unmute?
Yes, I'm here, Siku.
Yeah, would you share? And family, Wanda and Patricia, they are griots, so they're like special storytellers. So I know I'm not gonna put you on the spot and ask you, but I just want you to share. I know you recently had some wonderful energy in one of the islands, and I just wondered, would you share some of that manifestation with us? Now, if you do got a story, it's cool, but you know, I can't do it like that.
Well, I did. I was able to return after many years to the Virgin Islands where I used to live, and it was like traveling back in time and then also going forward too. I know that might not make a lot of sense, but you know, being around our people and seeing the strength of the people, seeing what they can do when they work together is such a model for us here in the States. They've been through so much with the hurricanes and whatnot, and they didn't get a lot of help, but they fell back on their own resources. And the unity I felt there was just unbelievable. And didn't feel any of the classism that it used to feel. It's like they're truly one people. And the ancestors were strong there. And I felt it very, very strongly there. If anybody has never been to the Caribbean, and especially the Virgin Islands, because that is a part of the US, and to see how our people can work together and accomplish so much, it's really something that, talk about empowering. It really is. It's a blessing, and it gave me the clarity that I needed to go forward and continue things here and to kind of change the direction of my life. Going back, like Sankofa, helped me know where I need to go now. And that was my place of Sankofa, going back there. So, yeah. Hello.
I said thank you. I appreciate it.
Oh, okay. I couldn't lost you.
Yeah, I was muted for a minute. I kind of muted out. No, I appreciate it. I appreciate you sharing, because it, you know, it's a power of intention. You know what I mean? Like that, you know. Even the part where you took a friend with you, you know, and y'all, and then how did y'all build? And that's the thing, family. You know, I want to stress is that the islands are great, America's great, Africa is great, but we still got, you know, it's us connecting with them. You know what I mean? They multiply our energy, but we got to be that main power source. You know, it's like, you know, like that. You know, when you read about the Chinese fusion generator now, you know, and they got the fusion generator that they got to run for 1 damn minute, you know, with the as hot as the sun, right? You know, but that, you know, I found that if I redirect my energy back into me when I'm mad, my gift reflects out 10 times harder, you know, so I can like get mad instead of using it to be on something. I just can go into meditation, and you know what I mean? And so I would like for us to always take advantage of every time that we can take advantage of something. you know, and a lot of times I know some of my friends is like, they got to go here, they got to go here, or they got to go to Africa. It's like, no, you can just go in your backyard. You know, one thing we came out of last week with Nikki Love, that we were going to go out in the yard and take our shoes off as men and connect to spirit. And I found that to be so damn difficult. And it's like weird, man. It's like, you know, you think you connected, but I would, you know, go through all these changes. Like I had to have the candle, I had to have this, just to go out in the backyard and take my shoes off, you know. So the day I purposely came out, because I got a little lightweight garden that I'm trying to learn how to do. I'm having some problems with my tomatoes help. But, you know, and I just, let me just go out with my shoes on. I don't need to go out of time. You know what I'm saying? Like that. I was putting too much pageantry in something that if I'm comfortable with earth, it should be that simple. You know, that's what I'm trying to say. And it's the same with that. Let's say if there's something going down in our community, we could almost call each other and just go lay down wherever we at. You know, it's like what Brother Danny say, we feel the connection just from the first time we've done this. And so, you know, I'm not saying don't go see the beautiful magic places, but I'm just saying keep in mind that we are always going to be the main beautiful magic place. It's just going to be, you know, like that. And so if we understand that, then we understand that, like what I'm learning is how I maximize my power is going deeper within me. You know, I have a friend, you know, that, you know, she just recently quit her job and she's struggling, and now she's doing time travel. You know what I'm saying? Like that. Why? Because she had to reach so deep inside to make herself believe in what she wanted. She hated the factory and she just quit. She called, brother, I just quit that shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, no, you should have got the unemployment, right? She's like, I just quit. And now she making it. But when she called me the other day, we was talking this morning, she's like, Usika, what am I doing? I'm like, I think you're starting to do time travel, like second dimensional time travel. So at the end of the day, I called her back and said, well, don't worry, just master the second dimension, because then you can always open up those other portals. You see what I'm saying? And this isn't the aliens be in her room, you know, this is so bad with her shit, but she's never traveled anywhere but South Carolina. You see what I'm saying? And so right now, we're the most powerful we can be until in the morning when we decide we're going to be more powerful than what we were last night. And we just continue to grow. You know what I mean? That's why I want to say hi to Destiny, because this is a sister I met in the grocery store. And one day I called her and said, where the hell am I? And she told me exactly where I was standing. So we got so much power once we realize it. And then we can move energy that shouldn't be in our community away. Me, I'm a believer we have to manifest in the spiritual world, and then those changes will come to pass and into our communities. You know what I mean? Like that. So I think he's back. Brother Eddie, you back?
Can I be heard? Can I be
Yes,
heard?
go ahead. Go ahead.
This is Brother Harris here, the numbers, man. And for those who might not know me, in the gematria table that I deal with the numbers, just pull up Marty Lee's Pi, the English language. That's P-I, Pi, the English language. But what you were saying, you're right on point. Because again, it is the information, which is 9, and 9 is also the learning that you were talking about. Learning is 9, 27. But as you said, the sister was saying she's gonna quit. No, don't quit. Quit is 27, that's 9. Change those letters, and quit is just be quiet. Quiet is also 9. Just be quiet. Be silent. Silent is 9. We get information when we're silent, and we go within, and we bring the information within out. So it's all pertinent. So yes, my brother, you're right on point, because it's all understanding. Once we go in, we're tapping into that spiritual realm. See, because we're out here on the outside looking at all the physical and material and religious nonsense. Because it's not religion, it's spiritual. This is what connects us all. That's why religion is the confusion that separates us. All religions are separated. That's why they close their doors when they have their services, instead of leaving your doors open, because the spirit resides within. So my brother, you right on point like everybody else who's been talking on the program tonight. Once we go within inside ourselves, because within is one. You, the word you are one. Self is one. Know is one. And my balance is called know thyself. And that's where we start, from within. But because the program has educated us on everything outside of ourselves, this is what we respond to. All outside negativity. And then we try to formulate that, which we can't do because we never were taught how to find the gift, the purpose within. This is why they always programmed us with subjects on everything outside of who and what we are. But we're coming back to that because the universal time, which is no more than the age of Aquarius, dictates this shift, paradigm shift that we're going through. That's why paradigm is 9. It's all dealing with our life, and our life going through a crystallization of change, just like a butterfly. When it goes inside and it metamorphoses itself from that cocoon stage or that crystalline stage, and it becomes a butterfly. We're getting ready to fly, family. And a lot of us are still crawling around on our bellies like we caterpillars. It's time to evolve and to lift ourselves, because that's where we are, regardless if we want to be or not. The universe is dictating this. I have nothing to do with it. I'm just a messenger, like we all are. We were all put here to be messengers, to help one another to regain what we have lost from this society that has basically so-called educated or miseducated us away from who and what we are. And it's up to us to fix us, like it's always been said, to get back in order with nature, because we're all out of order. With that, family, peace and love. I'm going to mute myself and keep listening. Love you.
Man, I appreciate it. Thank you. I know short notice, I decided to do this Sunday morning, so I appreciate you. You've been supporting me since back in the day. Especially, you come when, I know how y'all are on that particular network. Y'all tight, very, very tight friends and family. They do share. It's a lot of researchers on that particular, from there, and then Sundays, right, brother? When y'all do your thing Sundays. So there's a lot of researchers. So you get a lot of great information from these brothers. They're from various cities, and they come on Dry Bones and they share their research, and humor too, but a lot of good research from these brothers, like that. So it's a good thing. I appreciate you. Shakuni, did you get my text? Shakuni Hani, because I don't want to hold everybody. It's getting late, but I want to close it out in a special way. So I just wanted Shakuni Hani, are you there?
Hey, no, I didn't get your text, Baba. What was the text?
What you spit?
Always, always for you, Baba.
I appreciate it. You gotta close it out. Unless, wait a minute. Is anybody have any questions or want to give anything? I'm being very selfish. Does anybody else want to talk or share before, just raise your hand, because I think you can unmute yourself. And I don't want to pick on nobody else.
I would like to say something
Sure.
before we close out. And I want to say that I'm really glad to hear the brother come on and talk about the numbers and the 9, because for me, he just made it very clear about just the simple things that I was talking about with self. For me, it has come back to the evolution of self, and that is absolutely very, very powerful. That if we don't tune into ourselves, it's going to be very, very difficult for us to do the things that we need to do as a people. And that was why I said it's the me that we have to work on to get to the we. And this has to be really, really seriously emphasized because it cannot be a we without the me. And it's something that I think is so simple. It is so simple until I think that it has been drastically overlooked. It has been drastically under taught. And we need to really put a whole lot of emphasis on that, because when you concentrate on self, you come with all of the self things that come with that: self-responsibility, self-reliance, self-assurance, self-esteem, self-confidence. And these are all things that we as a people are drastically missing within ourselves. And that is all I wanted to add. And thank you for the invite tonight. And it was great. Nice meeting everyone.
I say, sister. Brother you.
Yes.
It's Brother Dan again. Let me put two tidbits, if I may.
Sure.
One is from Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan said, there is no I in team, but there is an M and an E. And that is the part that comes with accountability for self. And I brought another brother on board with me, Brother Bob.
Yes, Bob.
And he said, emancipate yourself from mental slavery. It is our individualistic responsibility to fix that mental glitch. That's my portion for tonight. Peace.
Appreciate it.
Correct.
Thank you. Thank you for sure. Anybody else want to do anything? I want to suggest something. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I wanted to concur with Brother Danny. The sister and the brother spoke very eloquently in the reflection of getting back to nature, in a sense of you know, just the basics. You know, a lot of stuff we've lived in this world, and they always wanted to make it complicated, and mostly all our answers have always been very simple. So we've been programmed to be made that things are complicated, and most of the answers in life are very simple. And getting back to nature is definitely getting back to one. So I definitely feel that message, and definitely would help spread it. So that's all I wanted to add at this time.
Thank you. You know, anyone else would like to give? You know, and I appreciate everyone for coming out, because, you know, it was short notice. And, you know, it's deep though, because, you know, I look at, you know, I envision my safe zone, and I'm looking like, look at all these people that came, you know, like that, and that we're concerned. So I appreciate coming. But, you know, we've witnessed tonight that we can collectively come together and we can move energy among us. So I wanted to suggest that maybe if we needed to have a gathering for an emergency, then we come together for that. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to start a group. I'm just saying, let's say, you know, somebody got sick or something happened, and we need to come together maybe to collectively think about sending energy to a particular person or being. You know, that's something we can think about. What I'm gonna try to do is make a commitment for this waning moon. I'm going to try to, you know, like that, so that we can come together at least monthly or every other month and do our burns on the waning moon. I'm gonna try that. You know, I'm gonna see how it works once, you know, we get back in school with my daughter and whatnot, but I'm gonna try to do that. So, and maybe, you know, with all the professionals that we have on, you know, we all can look at sharing and educating each other, so we'll get a feel for, you know, who we are and our uniform commitment to, you know, we want some change. And it seems like most of us are here for that particular change. And that change is other than how it affects you personally, because most of y'all are, you know, pretty cool off like that. So, you know, and with those concerns, just that concern alone, I think that'll be enough to help us affect ourselves. Or even if we start looking like what Pat said, where she went somewhere where Black people had never stopped working together. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I could go on and on about a friend of mine that she left DC, and she married a dude from Bermuda, you know, and they were back like when I came out in Iowa. If something got fixed, the neighborhood came and took care of it. You know what I mean? Like that. It wasn't like here now, you know, where, you know, people, you know, where I come from Iowa, you got, you know, you had a barbecue and some beer, and all your friends came over and painted the house, you know what I mean? But they came out of Mississippi, and that's the time going by. But it looks like there may be a time that we have to learn to coagulate, to help each other, even if it's just spiritual, to be able to call someone and say, hey, send me some energy like that. So let's consider it, you know, like that. Okay, Sister Shakuni, because I'll run my mouth. Would you build, and we'll close for that. Thanks for coming, family.
All right. Hey, everybody. Okay. First of all, I want to say awesome Zoom meeting. This touched me. And even in the last minute, Spirit said, grab, you got a marker, you got a red marker, you got a cardboard box, you got fire, you got what you need. Let's get on it. And I did it. I'm a 9. This is my 9 year. I'm an Aquarius rising, and it just kind of confirmed a lot of things that's going on in my life. But having said all that, thank you for this meeting. Thank you for meeting all you guys. This one is called Watch the Pot. Watch the pot calling the kettle black. Avoid snakes wearing designer slacks. Have courage to stand against attacks. And if they come for us, we gotta fight back. Revolution will not be televised. Had enough so we don't compromise. We can see the devil in disguise, all shapes and forms before our eyes. Celebrities leading us to sin. We see the truth is if we see the truth is how we all can win. Discernment comes from deep within, activated so that their reign can end. Watch the pot calling the kettle black. Avoid snakes wearing designer slacks. Have the courage to stand against attacks. And if they come for us, we gotta fight back. No more marching up and down no roads. Not Martin, we now need Malcolm's goals. Guess violence is all the other knows. Been peaceful, but us warriors hold. The key to killing those exposed. Texas hold them until they all fold. Conquistadors, forget the lies you told. You can't hide the truth no more, we here and bold. Watch the pot calling the kettle black. Avoid snakes wearing designer slacks. Have the courage to stand against attacks. And if they come for us, we gotta fight back. By Shakuni Hani. Love y'all.
Thank you. I love you too. And family, as we go, the Spirit said, look at two things. You know, we have a migration that's coming up here. And so let's lend some energy that those people don't get destroyed because they're coming to America. And also, I know maybe some of y'all have seen what's happening with those poor people that's trying to cross the Mediterranean, you know, like that. So, and figuring out why they got people moving like that. You know, I mean, let's look at that, you know, like that. I'm not saying we try to attack it globally. I'm just saying there's something about that where you got people that's dying and drowning, you know, or living in concentration camps in Northern Africa, right? Just, you know what I'm saying? And getting stuck in Turkey. So it's something to look about. And with that, I appreciate it. I'm gonna sign off. Thank y'all. I'm sending peace and love and protection for everybody that's been here tonight. And I'm sure I'll talk to most of y'all sometime within the next 2 weeks. Peace.
Peace.